Hello and good Wednesday, September 26th, 2007. I'm Joanne and this is Rocketboom. The United States, the world's most famous democracy? Maybe. But the world's most participatory democracy? Hardly. According to the International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance, America ranks in the bottom 20% of all nations in the world in voter turnout. That puts the United States behind Kyrgyzstan, Cameroon, Estonia and 136 countries. We've put a special correspondent on the case, Jacob Soboroff, the executive director of the non-partisan group Why Tuesday, and here's his report on the results of a recent fact-finding expedition to the biggest 18th century settlement in the New World.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Jacob Soboroff for Why Tuesday, coming to you today from the Duke of Gloucester Street in Colonial Williamsburg in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Why are we coming to you from Colonial Williamsburg today? Because Colonial Williamsburg, for 81 years, from 1699 to 1780, was one of the most powerful places in America. And from the moment that settlers landed in this area, they started to vote. That is, of course, unless you weren't Protestant, over the age of 21, a male, and free. But thankfully, the franchise in the United States has progressively expanded wider and wider. And today, if you're the age of 18 and an American citizen, you've got the right to vote here. We no longer travel the way they did in these days, and we no longer communicate in the way that they did in these days. Why are we still voting today on a day that was set over 100 years ago to make it convenient for the larger agrarian society at the time then to get to the polls?
It's a good question, and one without an obvious answer. So I was pretty lucky when I ran into a guy by the name of Thomas Jefferson, and was even luckier to get a minute of his time.
Mr. Jefferson, man of the people, here he is. Mr. Jefferson, we're going around the country talking to our elected officials about fixing what we think is America's broken voting system. I'm curious to know, what do you think the state of the voting system in America is, and what's your vision for the future?
Well, I would say at present, of course, we are creatures of habit and custom, and we've more or less adopted the system of the franchise that has been in place for many centuries, the old British system. Only those who own property, the male, the white male, 21 years of age or older. The property at average value, 50 pounds sterling it used to be under the old regime, now about $100 of goods and chattels, but more so real estate. On the average, about 100 acres unimproved, 40 acres with a house upon it, or a city lot within a municipality. That, of course, has existed in its essence from Roman times, that those who own property, freeholders, if you will, are part of the franchise. Now, you ask me, should that remain so? Oh, no. No more than a child of 14 should be expected to wear the same clothes at the age of 40. Our laws and our institutions should grow as we grow as a people, and therefore, if it is the general interest of the citizen body to alter or to abolish these laws entirely for what is more amenable to them, then they certainly have the natural right to do so.
In your opinion, how do we get to where we are today, and then what will it take for a change to happen?
Exactly what you're doing now, to voice an opinion, that the people understand and utilize their natural right to hold an opinion freely and to freely express their opinion, to begin to hold public discourses, that is, debates and arguments, to put pen to paper and offer their opinion in writing, either in the newspapers or through correspondence. All of this seeks to not only provoke people to recognize there may be an injustice, but also to provoke them to begin building consensus for a change.
If you could look forward into the 21st century, what would be, wink wink, what would be the ideal number of voter turnout for you? And would you be disappointed if, on average, say in the last 50 years, voter turnout was less than half of the people that were eligible to vote?
Well, firstly, may I say that you are distinctly an American, are you not? Prescribing what I consider the greatest product of our nation, and that is imagination. To think that we might look forward into the future is certainly a requisite of being American, that we ever hold the future in our own hands and have the power to influence. I would look forward in the future that the number of people to vote would be the greater number of the people. The majority of the citizen body must place their vote. If they do not, well, good heavens, then why should they ever complain about the government they've allowed them to exist? It would not be their government, not the government of the majority. And yet, as the majority should put forth their vote and thereby have the result be of their own influence, They hold a responsibility and obligation to protect and defend the rights of the minority. That is an essential principle over which we engage the revolution. So I would hope in the future, when I speak majority, I would certainly hope, well, at present, landowners are required to vote. If not, then they must suffer a fine. So I would hope that upwards of nearly 96% of the population be represented in the franchise. And if there's a day where land is no longer the requisite, well, who should say it be less than that? It should still remain. In fact, it should be more, would it not? If the people have a greater opportunity to provide a vote without requisites of property, or as it was under the old regime, even religious opinion, well, then they hold a freedom that man has rarely seen in his history, and all should flock to the polls.
Can I get your autograph?
Sure. It's true, I've been recognized a lot more since the success of my first season of the Sarah Silverman program.
Thanks. Can I get one for my goldfish?
Why would I sign an autograph for a fish? I mean, right?
The Sarah Silverman program. New season starts Wednesday, October 3rd at 10:30 after the season premiere of South Park. Only on Comedy Central.
I would have said that before the success.